Hey friends, welcome back to Learning Made Fun, your ultimate destination for IT training content. Today, we get ready to learn G-SQL. We're going to learn how to use the select statement, the where clause, and the insert into statement. Now, whether you're a newcomer or a long-time subscriber, I've got some exciting and informative content lined up just for you. So grab your snacks, hit that subscribe button, and let's jump right into it, my friends. Welcome back. We're going to spend a little bit more time in SQL Server, specifically inside of Server Management Studio, SSMS. And today we're going to be playing with a couple of statements that I want to share with you. I've linked I've put this database called Learning SQL on the comments below so that you can download it and practice along with this video. So let's go ahead and create a brand new query here inside of SQL Server Management Studio. And once you have that database in place like we do here, we're going to open it up. We're going to select it, and if you right mouse button click, you can select top 1000 rows. And if you look at the statement up here, it's letting us know that it wants the top 1000 ID, name, age, city, and then the name of the table itself, which is Learn SQL Table. As we learned in our last video, this is the name of our database, Learn SQL. And then we can have one or many tables. And in this case, we're going to be working with the Learn SQL table. So this is SQL. It's just commonly called SQL. You could call it SQL as well if you wanted to. Now let's do something. Let's go in here and say new query. And you could also say select and the star, which is basically a wildcard, everything. So here we're saying select everything from, and if this is a lot for you to type, you can just drag it across and then just select it and hit execute or the F5 on your keyboard, and you get the same results as you do by right mouse button click and selecting. Now right below that, there's also another one that says edit top 200 rows. And we'll talk about this on a different video. For right now, I want you to learn how to select it, which was right mouse button click, select, or just right select, and we just put the wildcard because we want everything for this exercise. Great. Moving along, the next one that I want to talk about is called the where clause. Now this specifies criteria that field values must meet for the records that contain the value to be included in the query. So that's a lot of words there. What does that mean exactly? So let's say that I want this New York, right? I want this record right here for John Doe, age 25, ID number 1 in New York. So I could say select everything from that table, and I could say where, or my where clause, where ID is equal to 1. Right, so now I'm giving it some specific information, and let's say I know the job ID, and the ID, and then I also know the age. So I can say and age is equal to, in this case, 25, right? Maybe we have those pieces of information, but nothing else. So I'm telling it, give me everything from this database where the ID is number 1 and the age is 25. Now let's see what happens here. If I run that, and it's going to give me everything for that one row. Right, so I knew the ID, I knew the age, and it gave me John Doe, the record for John Doe, age 25, ID number 1 in the city of New York. So the where clause is pretty handy when you don't want to see everything. Remember that before we were looking at all this information. Now in this table, we're very lucky. There's only 14. But there's other instances where you could have, let's just look at this huge one over here. In here. So this, for example, this is a free training database called AdventureWorks 2019. I'll go ahead and put the link for that below as well. But if you notice, look how many records there are. There's a couple of hundred. So especially on a larger database like this one, it would really be handy if you wanted a specific one. If you really wanted to drill down into a specific record, then that's where the where clause would come in handy. Okay, so we've learned how to select a couple of different ways, and we've moved on to the where clause and also a statement. So it could be called a clause or a statement. And the next one I want to talk about is the insert to. This one could be a work in progress, right? So I currently have 14 records as opposed to that other database that we saw that has hundreds of them. So on something like this, maybe you're adding tables. I'm so sorry. You're adding information records on a regular basis, right? So what you could do is we could do something like using the insert statement. I'm going to say insert into, and then I'm just going to drag over So now I'm telling it I want to insert into this particular table, and then you got to tell it what the information is, right? This up here, the ID, the name, age, and city. So we're going to define that next. We're going to say ID, name, age, and city. So we're telling it what we're going to put into, or where, where we're going to put it into. And now we got to give it values to tell it what's the data that you're going to put into each one of these. So now that we already have our query in place, our statement in place, insert into this table ID, the name, the age, and the city, you can just continue. As a matter of fact, you can copy this as many times as you want to and just keep adding data on and on and on and on. So for example, let's just say that the next ID we know for a fact is going to be 16. So let's do this. Let's copy this and take it into Notepad. All right, so what we're going to do is let's go into Notepad. And paste it in here. And then you could save this. We could also save queries, as we'll learn later. But you could literally just keep on going down the row until you get all the fields that you want to. But for right now, let's just stick to the basics. We know that the last one was 15, so we're going to do 16 here. So this is going to be my name 2, and then this one's now going to be 36. And San Antonio, let's just say Santa Fe. Okay, so let's grab that. Let's paste that in here. Let's run this query. Notice we only have 15. And let's scroll to the top and execute that. One row affected, completion time. Let's go back to that select statement. And there it is. And like I said, you could just keep doing it over and over and over until you got all the fields you wanted to. And great. So we talked about a couple of things. We talked about how to make a select statement a couple of different ways. We talked about the where clause, and we've been getting some hands-on with the insert into statement. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe.